Hello again, and thank you for joining Jeff and Jenny's Classic Restorations. Well, now that the shed museum is finished, we've got room now to start the restoration on the Piaggio Ciao. To be careful, because we've got a Ciao Ciao here, but not that spelt that way, is it? No. She's off to the groomers tomorrow. She's still been licking her legs down here, but she's going to the groomers. So, just very briefly, I'll show you. Just finished off the shed completely now with the floor tiles and the clocks in there, and then we'll get started on the next restoration. Well, as I mentioned in the last video when we opened the museum, I didn't have enough floor tiles. Well, they came the same day. Unfortunately, they only delivered the grey ones. The other ones I had to wait for the next day because they messed up. So excuse me. So that's all the floor tiles done now, and over the back there, I think you can see it, the Castrol clock eventually came as well. That doesn't look too bad on that post, even though it's a wallpaper post. So that's it. So shed completely finished now. We can now get on and start our restorations again. Right, yeah, you've already seen the Piaggio Ciao before. I've taken this off already. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a grey one I can get, so I may possibly near the time get a grey one. So that's off. That shows you the engine, very clean. We know it runs okay. Probably will have to clean the carburettor out, which is air. This is the air filter down here. This is the choke lever. As I mentioned, when you start and go, it will just click off. So we're going to start by getting the engine out. This little cover I took off because I wasn't quite sure how that fitted, but that clips in there one way or the other, like that. That's the cover for the spring for the saddle. So what I'm going to do, I'll drop that into some rust killer stuff and we can get that polished up. So there's lots of little bits to do. I'm not going to exactly rush this one because it might be quite enjoyable. I think it's called sort of like an orange blood red or something like that. This one's called. I've got the paint already. Because it's now sort of beginning of October, I think the first thing I will do is get the red parts sanded down and try and get them painted before winter sets in and let them dry for a few weeks. And also down here, as I think I mentioned, the only problem with this is it's plastic. There's just a little hole there where somehow that's touched the clutch spinning in there. So for me to fill that, it would mean I've got to actually paint this, which I will do. I'll get some gloss light grey plastic paint. So off we go then. We can start to strip this down now, and let's just get it up onto the ram. Well, this is I do like this. This is great compared to some mopeds we've done. About half a dozen bolts to get the side panel off. We just click that and they just come out of their little hole like that, and that comes off nice and easy. So in there we have the drive belt. Probably had to replace that, I should think. This is the clutch part, and this is like the variator. Right, so I think maybe we'll start by taking this off, then we'll turn it round. I might be able to get round there anyway, I've got enough room now. And we get the chain off, and then we can start taking these bits off, carburetor, pipes and what have you, and get the engine out. One good thing with this is everything looks pretty kind of new, because it was only used for 5 or 6 years and then just laid up. So all these sort of things should be okay. It's just like surface rust where it's been standing in a shed or garage or something for many years. So hopefully this will get this bolt undone. Yeah, there we go. And make sure we don't lose anything out of this. That one. There we go. That should have rollers inside, but we'll come back to that one at some stage. Keep that out of the way. So Hopefully that can come off now. Well, not quite. Yeah, there's a lot of oil around here. I've got a feeling that's coming from the little gearbox in the rear hub. Probably just needs a new gasket on that one, but we'll come back to that one later. Let's get this one off. Not sure what this is, 13 or something. Appears to be a 13, so hopefully this will come off. There we go. Right, oh, right, let's keep all these. And it's got a wood rough key as well in there. So it should slide off. Well, the clutch looks alright. So we'll keep all this together for now. Come back to this one later and not lose that wood rough key. Right, around the other side now. So I've got the same little clips again here, which are great. There we go. That's okay. Alright, so that's out of the way. And that takes us down to the chain. So there is an adjuster here which will loosen the chain. So I suppose we better get that unadjusted and we can get that off, I hope. Well, actually, to be honest, there's actually no point taking that off just yet. It's nothing to do with the engine, it's just separate, so that can be done later. So really we just need to try and get some of these wires and cables released from the engine and we can try and get that out. So this plate looks like it's held on by these 10mm bolts here. There we go. Yeah, there we go. That just covers the wiring up in there. Right, so that was just a cover plate, and then we've got this here which is the coil, so we'll try and get this off for the moment. Okay, let me just get this out. This is going to take a time. Right, well that was a waste of time trying to get the coil off, because basically that is the engine mounting bolts there. So yeah, that'll have to wait to the end. I've taken this little cover off. I just put a little bit of tape over there to hold the screw in. That just comes off of there, and then hopefully we can get the plug through, spark plug through here. Hopefully. Well, might have to unscrew that, to be honest, as well. Yeah, we'll leave that for now. But yeah, that goes through there and links up with the coil there. I suppose, well, the exhaust pipe's got to come off. Perhaps we'll start doing that. Right, well, here's the exhaust clamp. I think this is a, well, I just tried it, it's 11mm on there, and then that's just held on with a bracket just up here. So I'll get this off and then we can come back and sort the carburetor out, undo this fuel line, and carry on to getting this engine out. Right, well that's the exhaust pipe off. A little bit different to most. It's just a clamp that pushes on, and but it's actually good condition, just a fine surface rust, but nice coat of black heat resistant paint should do that nicely. So that's that one off. Right, so I've now loosened that Jubilee clip which holds on the air filter. So there we go, that one off. And then all I need to do now is undo this little banjo bolt into the carburetor, drain what fuel we do have in there, and then undo the throttle cable as well. I've undone these ones off of the generator there, the mag. That will come through in a minute. Yeah, so we should be nearly there to get the engine out. Right, well, I didn't bother with, I put it back on again, keep it all in one place. I've just taken that off, drained out what little bit of fuel was in there, which lucky enough is very clean. There's no dirt in that, which is good sign for the tank. I know they did say they cleaned it out. I've loosened off the 8mm nut there, clamp for the carburetor. So I just need to release these two, pull out the slider in there. Okay, well that's the throttle cable out. I'll put the slider on one side so I don't lose it for the moment. So yeah, that's the carburetor out. So I think we're nearly ready to take the engine out. Well, I've had to stop for a little bit as the battery on the camera had run out. So I've unhooked the decompression cable from there. I've loosened off the engine mounting bolts, which has allowed me to loosen the coil to get this some of these wires through. This one is the main one. So and I've got the plug as far as that. So once this is out, we just get the mountings off, and I think that will release it. Just having a quick look whilst I was waiting for the battery, with this oil leak down here, I've got a feeling it's probably this oil seal here, which probably been standing for 45 years. Perhaps once it started moving, it sort of tore it or something in there. They're not that expensive, but I'll order that a bit later on once I can see anything else I might need. So I think we are just about ready to get the engine out. So I have loosened these off, so to get this cable through, and there's another one at the back here which is loosened. So let's see if this goes to plan. Let's just undo these. And that one, that's the rear support. And this one. Alright, just about get this wash off. So hopefully we just tap that through and that will do it, I hope. There we go, it's loose. So let's pull that one through. There we go, one. Two, which has now released the coil. And that is already out, so that should do it. Let's see what happens, shall we? There we go, and it takes a bit of wiggling. This cable's in the way again. Oh dear. Always something. Hang on, bear with me. It wouldn't go in there if you wanted it to, would it? That's it. Right, okay. So we can lower that down. There we are. I think we're there. And just pull that through the hole there. Somehow. There. There we go. Right, one little Piaggio engine. That's so very clean because it's hardly been used. But there's a little bit of, what do you call it, detailing on there. Clean all this up, paint that, clean all this, give all this plastic a nice clean. So that's one good thing. We can don't really have to worry about that. So I'm going to leave it for this week, just for the engine, and next episode we will completely strip it down to this frame. It's quite good actually to have a big frame, not lots of pieces. Get the steering off, that can be painted, and we've got obviously all this up here. So I'm going to leave it for that for today. At least that's out of the way. We've got lots of wires and that to pull through. So anyway, well, that was well, it seems to be quite a nice bike to work on. We say that at the moment, but something's bound to go wrong, isn't it? So at least we've got the engine out. That's the worst of it. Now we can just go around and next week and get it completely stripped down. As I say, I'm going to work on the frame to start with, being it's sort of early October, to try and get the frame painted before winter, and the rest of it can just be done in the workshop, and a bit of plastic painting and all that won't be too much of a problem in the bad weather. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the start of this Piaggio Ciao refurbishment, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.